1 year, 1 album. That's all we were doing, and that's all we agreed on. I had a deal on the table with RCA to do a solo deal coming out of En Vogue. And my manager at the time, Raphael, called her. I don't know how he got her number, but he called her and asked her if I could do the group, and she said no. and then he contacted me, and I was like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that this woman, my manager, told you no before she even let me know that the opportunity was there?
Oh.
Yes. She told him no. Dawn doesn't want to do a group situation because she's working on a solo project. And she was right about that to a certain point. To me, Lucy Pearl, you're talking about only 1 year. That's not going to kill me. And you're talking about another group coming from En Vogue. I just thought that that would be a better situation.
Right.
Because I love Raphael. I know Raphael from when we were kids together, so I feel comfortable. And instead of going off on my own, I'm in a group again. And I loved it. I loved the idea. And she was like, well, I told him no. And I was like, well, you're fired. I fired her.
Right. Yeah. As you should, because she should have consulted that with you.
She did not consult with me. Thank you, Joe. Absolutely not. And Raphael called me, or I called him. I don't know how I found him because there was no social media back then. And I hadn't seen Raphael since we were kids, literally. 16 years old. So I don't know how I found him or he found me. But when we talked, I was like, you have this idea, this group. I was like, I love that idea. So that's when I told her, you're fired. I'm going to do this whole thing with Lucy Pearl. Well, it wasn't even Lucy Pearl yet. We didn't have a name until later. But I think this is a brilliant idea. You got Tribe Called Quest. You got Ali from Tribe Called Quest. You got Raphael Sadiq from Tony, and you got Dawn Robinson from En Vogue. And I think that is brilliant. Brilliant. Who couldn't see that? Like, Stevie Wonder would understand that that was a brilliant idea. It just made sense. Raphael is so incredibly talented. And his voice and mine together, I don't know how that's going to work, but I still think it's going to be brilliant. Whatever we do, you know, before I could really hear that. We sang together when we were kids, but he really didn't sing. He played bass. Yeah. So I just thought, oh my God, feels good. You know what I mean? It's like that whole sound that he has with mine, it's going to work. It's going to really work. And so I fired her, and then we did Lucy Pearl. And again, what a brilliant body of work we did. I just love it so much. Thank you, Joe.
So what was the difference being in the studio with En Vogue and Lucy Pearl?
Oh, the difference. Freedom. I'll put that word on it. Freedom. Denny and Tommy were great at what they did. They gave us those En Vogue harmonies that nobody can deny. Nobody can deny. Like I said, Hold On was one of the most amazing songs you could ever hear. It was just on the radio, this a cappella, and then the beat kicks in, and it's all so dope and so incredible and so amazing. And Terry singing lead, Cindy singing lead on the hook, on the rest of the song, and then Terry singing lead on the a cappella was brilliant. But Lucy Pearl in the studio, we could bring in ideas to each other. I wasn't really a writer per se.
Yeah.
So I was nervous to write around everybody. So I would go in a separate room by myself, and I would leave the door cracked so I could hear the music. And me and my friend Monet was writing already. She wrote a song that I did called Healing, which is the one that Sylvia Rhone loved, that I told you she loved.
Yeah.
She gave me the budget to work with them, and I paid Monet to work on Healing. And then these other producers that I had were working with her as well. And I was like, Raphael, I want you to check out my stuff, my solo stuff that I've been working on. When he heard it, he's like, I love those guys. I love those producers, and I love that girl. Like, you guys write together? And I was like, yeah, she's been writing with me. So he said, well, bring them in on the project. So we brought Glenn and Bobby are their names, and it's a Mexican guy and a white guy. And they are on the Lucy Pearl album. Would not have been what it is or was if it wasn't for these two guys. And Monet, because she was an amazing writer. So it was like 2 girls and 4 guys working on this album. Raphael, Ali, Bobby, Glenn, Monet, and myself.
Yeah.
And it was a project, built by these incredible minds that came together to do this incredible work. It was organic. It was not, the reason I say freedom is because Denny and Tommy, strategically placed each girl on each song. I think they did a great job just looking back. But I think that the first album, Maxine and I were overlooked a little bit, you know.
Mm.
Second album, we were like, we aren't having it.
Right.
Never gonna get it. We were like, no. We're singing, I remember how it used to be. Maxine and her voice, her warmth, you know what I mean? And doesn't matter what you do, what you say. On the high parts with me,
yeah,
it was a good match, you know what I mean? But we were like, no, we are gonna step up on the second album, and we did. But again, we were told what to sing and where, as opposed to, you know, Lucy Pearl was like, hey, you like this idea? Listen to this. And we listened and we were like, okay, that sounds good. Change that to this. Or why don't you try this note, Raphael? I don't like that. Or he'd just do like 12 different bass lines. He would play the bass lines to The Meters was a band that came together out of all the musicians for James Brown, Aretha Franklin, I think, Sam and Dave, all those musicians back in the 60s came together to do what they call them break beats. And they just did an album, you know, just full of break beats and stuff, and they would just play until they couldn't anymore. They'd take a break, come back and play some more, and just start up again and just play whatever. And so today we call them break beats. And Bobby and Glenn would pull out those break beats. Bobby Ozuna was Mexican, and he was the DJ.
Yeah.
So he would play these break beats, and we would listen, and Raphael would come in and play these bass lines, 12 bass lines in a day, and he'd go home. The next day, we'd come back, and it would be the start of Don't Mess With My Man, or La La La, or Every Day, or Can't Stand Your Mother. It was like that. It was so fun.
So
it was so fun.
Lucy Pearl were 3 individuals for multi-platinum groups. And the firm was...
Well, no. I'm just going to back up a little bit, because En Vogue was the only one that was multi-platinum.
Oh.
Tribe Called Quest did their thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking no shade. I'm not shading it. But Tony, I don't think went multi-platinum. I think that they, and I know they didn't cross over. So, En Vogue was the only one that had done that, which is what Raphael said when he got me in the group. He's like, I know, you know, you bring the pop crossover R&B pop crossover sensibility. Yeah. Ali brings the hip hop element that you and I don't have.
Right.
En Vogue and Tony doesn't have that hip hop element. And then I bring in from Tony all the R&B soul. Right. Let's bring that together, and it was an explosion. It was amazing.
Okay. So 3 individuals from 3 different groups, and you guys formed an epic group.
Epic.
Yes, and also, so the firm had Nature, Foxy Brown, and Nas, and you gave them their hit, Firm Biz. So where were you?
It was a hit? It was a hit? So, seriously?
Yeah, so where were you when you got the call, like, you about to work with the hottest female rapper out and the hottest male rapper, like Foxy and Nas?
I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was brilliant. Again, here I am in the middle of another situation. Okay, I couldn't start my solo album if I wanted to. But I just thought, this is like, I love Nas, please. Just Nas by himself is like, okay, yeah. One Mic, that's my song. One Mic, oh my God, that's my shit. So this is Nas, the great. Like, I just, you know, and I love Inga. I think she's beautiful. I wasn't sure how she would be. In fact, I wasn't supposed to even meet them. But Hype Williams, I couldn't think of his name the other day for another interview, but he's the one who did the video.
Yes.
Joe.
You had the whole dance routine and all that going on with the red stage.
Joe, the thing is, though, Hype wanted me to wear green.
Oh.
Oh, can you think about it? Green is just not a color that we just see every day.
No.
He wanted me to be head to toe, and I'm not just saying wear the top, maybe the jeans could be a different color. He wanted head to toe green.
Oh.
And so they brought racks and racks of green. And I told him I'm not wearing green. I don't like green. I told you before we got here, I'm not wearing green. Sorry for all you people bringing, but I'm not doing it. So they went out and they got me another outfit, and that's the outfit that I did on the pole, when I do the pole, dancing on the pole. And I have on, I think, blue lipstick with a white line in the middle of it. Really cool. Then he brought in those green clothes again. And I was supposed to, what? The air, you can hear the sirens going off in my head. I was like, no, I told you, and I am not. He got in my face this close,
Yeah.
spitting at me. You're going to wear green, and you're going to do this, and you're going to. I couldn't breathe. So I called Dr. Dre. He called Jimmy Iovine, and he said, okay, you can leave the set. Don't even stay for the day. You can just leave. And we had to do that scene with the dancers. We had to do in New York because I didn't finish that day.
Oh.
Yeah, they had to fly me to New York, and I did the rest of the. So that's where I met Nas and AZ. But Inga, baby girl, wouldn't even come to the set at all. She wouldn't leave her apartment. They had to go and pay her a certain amount of money. I forgot what it was, but they had to pay her. Like, she was having like mad, like crazy anger that day. She was pissed off at somebody and was not leaving the house, and fuck y'all and blah blah blah, and it didn't happen. So they had to pay her. But later that night, we got wind of Princess Diana had died that day. So that was really kind of somber on set. It was quiet. It was really loud and crazy and chaotic and like a regular set at first. And then we heard, and it was like, whoa. The sun had just gone down. It was like, what? And they did it over the loudspeaker of this theater that we were in that day. And I was like, oh, my God. So we still pulled it off, but yeah, it was rough. That green. Yeah. Get Inga to wear that. Get Jay-Z. Get Nas to wear that. Yeah. No, I'm not wearing green. No.
Wow, I'm glad you didn't wear green because you killed it. So
thank you so much.
And you look good in the process. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe.
So you released your debut album, your self-titled debut album in 2002. So how was it being in the studio all by yourself?
Oh my gosh. Well, I wasn't alone. Even with the Lucy Pearl album, because I was the girl, I kind of felt solo to a certain point at times. Because Raphael on stage, of course, he would be playing the bass. Yeah. So he would only come up and sing when we would sing, Dance Tonight together. And a couple of other, Don't Mess With My Man. He would do the beginning part, but that's all. Right. You know, those little sound effects that he did in the beginning of the song. I'm messing up his part really bad, but he would do those parts in the beginning. So, and that was it. I would sing the rest of everything. Don't mess with my man. Don't mess with my boy. On my own. So it really felt like I was solo a lot of the time. And so I was used to being by myself by the solo album. And I just went back to what I knew before I was in En Vogue. I just went back to being in the studio like I did before. I recorded a lot when I was, 16, 17, 18 years old. So that was way before En Vogue. And I just went back to what I knew. What I missed was the camaraderie, the laughter. Terry is hilarious. When I tell you, that girl, there were many times that I was literally like, okay, Terry, my throat is swollen because I'm laughing at you so hard. Stop. So I can't breathe. I can't. Terry, stop. Okay. Because she was so funny. The girl is hilarious. She missed her calling. She's funny. And then Cindy gets in there with her. Like, they're hilarious. They really are. So that's what I missed mostly, going in the studio. But the creativity was there because I had a lot of people with me, and it was a new venture. So the record company was happy and excited to have me. It was their second project because they were a new label. And they had me on the R&B side, and they had Joey McIntyre from New Kids on the Block on the other side, the pop side. Okay. So it was a new label, and they were like, wow, we're excited to have you guys. And it would have been cool if we did a song together. I'm just thinking of that now. But we both had to establish ourselves as solo artists outside of our groups. So Joey had to establish herself. I had to do the same. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was a new crew of people. We are excited to be a part of this project with you, Dawn, and we're going to make this happen for you. So everybody was just grateful. I was grateful for them. They were grateful for me, Oh,
okay. So you went from singing to acting, because you was in Another 48 Hours, and then from that movie, then you did um sound over work on the Rugrats. So
Yes.
how was the transition?
It was fun. That was, I did Rugrats. Oh, it was after En Vogue. And it was after, it was probably in between Lucy Pearl and En Vogue, maybe like in there somewhere. Because we all had projects, little things that we would do. Terry would sing background for people, like Stokely from Mint Condition.
Mint Condition.
Yeah, so she did some projects as well during the time that we were in En Vogue. Again, why are you guys holding me accountable and not anybody else? I couldn't understand.
Right.
Cindy did Juice while we were in En Vogue. She did, I want to say she did Dreamgirls, the play, after En Vogue. Well, she was still in En Vogue. She hasn't left. Maxine, I don't know if she did much of anything after En Vogue or try to do other projects with people. But I was probably the most adventurous to go out there and do stuff. So when they came to me with the Rugrats thing, I just thought, how cute is this? my nephews watch the Rugrats, and I love them. And Tommy is my favorite, and I love him.
Yeah.
The voice talks with his nasal. This little sister. So I just thought, oh my gosh, I thought I was gonna have a different role, but being one of the babies was cute. Lenny Kravitz was in there. Like, come on, it was super cute. Lenny Kravitz was one of the babies. So we had a lot of celebrities that were the voices for the babies. And it was adorable because they showed on a big, massive, the screen was as big as a movie theater screen, right. But it was at the production, I want to say Paramount Pictures or somewhere. And so from the floor to the ceiling, this big, huge, the Rugrats were on the screen, and they showed us the scene we were going to do. And that baby, the little brown baby, that's you, Dawn. So I was like, oh my gosh. It was so cute. Cute how the process of seeing how cartoons come together with the character and the character on the screen and then your voice and matching them up together was magical. Really fun.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, but as I recall, so En Vogue had 2 reunions. I think the first one was the City of Hope or was the 20-year anniversary before the City of Hope?
No, there was no anniversary. So what happened last year is Sylvia Rohn had the City of Hope. She gives money to the City of Hope because a friend of hers, if I'm correct, a friend of hers has cancer or had cancer. And she was giving money to the City of Hope for a cure. And so she was one of the sponsors for the City of Hope. And so they wanted to honor her, and they gave her some big gala. And for that, she had us come in and do. So this was just last year. But 2 months before that, we had a meeting with En Vogue. Just Cindy, Terry, Maxine, and myself. Right. And our prospective people that were with us. I had 2 managers at the time. Right. Cindy and Terry had their manager, Delobe. He's from South Africa, I think, or his name is South African, Delobe. And Maxine was by herself. And Rona wasn't there. It was just the 4 of us and our people. And we talked about a reunion. Cindy and Terry did not want to call it a reunion. They wanted to call it an anniversary so that they could have Rona. Exactly. And I was like, wait a minute. So, Joe, you know me. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to figure this out. So you mean to tell me that when people come back together, isn't that a reunion? We are reuniting?
Because that's what I thought. That's what I thought. So that's how I meant it as a reunion.
Right. Isn't that a reunion? They wanted to change it to a anniversary so that they could have Rona in there with us.
Oh.
And I was like, no. I said, Cindy, and it was her and I talking. So I'm looking, I always look to the place where the person is sitting across from me when it happens.
Right.
Now this time, Cindy's sitting on the end of the table. And I said, Cindy, I understand you want Rona. That's cool. She's really sweet. She's never done anything. Maxine was sitting to my right. So I said, she's never had anything bad to say about me and Maxine in the public eye. She's very sweet. We had met her before because Alicia Keys requested the original 4. She did not want
for the BT
Rona.
Awards.
Thank you.
Yes, for the BT Awards.
And so if you guys respected that from Alicia Keys, why can't you respect that Maxine wants just the original 4? Maxine and I only want the original 4. So it's just me and Cindy going back and forth. And she's like, well, Rona's been with us for, 13 years, and technically she's been with us longer than you and Maxine, Dawn. I said, well, yeah, I was with you for 8 years, but I would have been with you longer had you not kicked me out of the group.
Right.
So
And
I didn't have a choice.
And you helped create the hits.
And thank you. We created it from the beginning. And I said, if Rona had a reunion with Jamie Foxx show, would we be a part of that reunion? And she said, no. I said, and if she had the Mickey Mouse Club, at the time I didn't know it was coming up for their 30th anniversary right now. But I didn't know that last year. So I said, and if she had a reunion with the Mickey Mouse Club, would we be a part of her reunion? She said, no. I said, exactly. So why should we have her?
So they value other people's opinion and they push yours. Yeah,
exactly.
Not right.
But Maxine wasn't really helping me to push the point,
Yeah.
And I was like, Maxine, come on, you got to pull her. Say something. Like, speak up. She didn't say anything, and I was right. Like, so now this year, Rona is still celebrating the 30th anniversary for the Mickey Mouse Club that she was on, and we are not a part of that.
Oh.
We're not a part of it. This is her 30th anniversary for the Mickey Mouse Club that she was either on a TV show or, I'm sorry for the phone, or a live show. She either is, she's either doing a live show or it was either a live show or a TV show. And I can't understand what it was, but she's doing that this year, and we're not a part of that at all. Is she fighting to get it? And this is the other thing that I had a problem with, Joe. When they kicked me out of the group in '97, they didn't have my back at all. The way that they're having Rona's back right now, and they're fighting for her to stay in the group.
That could have been reciprocated, yeah.
At all, you're so good. You are so good. Reciprocated. That's exactly. I needed your words like 31 interviews ago. I needed that word, reciprocate.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Joe. Yeah, they did not reciprocate the love that they gave to Rona last year. It was like they were fighting tooth and nail to keep her in the group, and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, y'all really want Rona in this group? Okay. My thing was, I said to them, why can't we just go 6 months without Rona there?
Right.
In 2010, we had worked up a full year. We toured that whole year, like I said, in 2009. So we toured the States here in America, and then we went overseas, and we did China, Amsterdam, London. That's what I said. We did Dublin, Ireland, and everybody was going crazy over Don't Mess With My Man, Lucy Pearl song. And Rona wasn't there. They told her to stay home because we are working up to our 20-year anniversary. That's last 2010. So why couldn't you guys do that again for this year? This is our 30-year anniversary. Why couldn't you guys tell Rona to just sit it out for 6 months? Let us tour the States, tour over abroad, and then come back, and then maybe you can even join us at that point. But let us have a minute by ourselves with our fans alone. Right. Without you. I don't understand why they're so adamant about fighting for her. Yes, and it was not reciprocated that they did not have my back the way they had Terry's back, and now the way they have Rona's back. It feels like shit. And I can't deny that it didn't hurt, or it hurt in a way back then, but I couldn't explain why until later on. And I'm like, that's why it hurt so bad, because you guys didn't fight Terry the way you fight me.
Yeah.
You guys can, now I understand that that's why. I mean, I saw it then, and I said that to Terry. Why is it different? Terry did a solo album, and I'm doing a solo album. Why is it different? Why is that different? And Terry said it just is. But I still didn't fight. I didn't say what I say now, which is like, no, it isn't different. What the fuck? No, it's not different. It's the same thing. And you guys are kicking me out of this group. I should have spoke up more. I was just too afraid. I was too nervous. Sylvia Rome was sitting right there. Like, I didn't want to fight her. She was a label. And I was like trying to figure out how to stay in this group. But last year, when I said all that, I was going at it with Cindy. We weren't arguing in a bad way, but she was like, no, I don't agree, because Cindy's very nasal. We call her the butter girl.
Yeah.
So she's very like this, Dawn. Like, and so yeah, no, Cindy, it's not any different. You guys are fighting for Rona, and I don't understand this. It doesn't make sense. So we need to do this with our fans, for our fans, by ourselves. Rona was not there in the beginning to build this thing. She shouldn't be here now. But again, you guys kicked me out of the group, so I had no choice.
Wow.
Are they saying something? Compromise. Let me see.
Oh, no. So
Exactly.
how was it like being in front of the camera, out like putting your personal life on camera for R&B Divas?
You know, I love that. I really wanted it to be more of it. Because the reason that I agreed to do a reality show in the first place was because I think reality shows should they could be an example. This is what you
Yeah.
don't do when you're in a girl group. This is what you don't do when you're married. Make sure you know who your husband is, because he may be abusive. And by the time you marry him, it's too late to get out of the marriage. You're already married. I really wish that I had a chance to say the things that I really wanted to and express. I expressed a lot about my life, but I didn't tell everything, you know, because that's what I thought reality was. You're giving the real. And apparently I was wrong.
Oh,
Yeah, because
so
I enjoyed talking about, I didn't enjoy it, but I mean, I talked about my ex-husband was abusive, that he used to choke me, that
oh
it was rough. Yeah, it was a rough marriage. And I found myself in a situation that I never, ever in a million years thought I would be involved in. But they didn't focus on that. They focused on the messy side of stuff. And I was like, wow, you guys are too much. And then I talked about not being able to have a child, and my ex-husband having 3 kids outside of our marriage, and
oh yeah,
while we were married. So again, they made light of it, as opposed to saying, you know what, let's focus on domestic violence.
right.
Let's talk to those young women that are out there in relationships that they can't get out of, and they think, okay, I'm pregnant by this guy, I have to stay with him. But he has 4 other women that are pregnant by him too. Like, he's just getting around, and you're supposed to be his girl. Let's talk about how to get out of those relationships. Just walk away from a situation. Some women have kids and they're still abused. You know, how did Dawn do it? How did Kelly Price deal with being overweight? How do you deal with people talking about you and the frustration that you feel when you go through that stuff? And here you are, a celebrity in front of the whole world, and you got people talking about, oh, she's big. How do you feel when that happens? What do you do with that? How do you find the confidence to say, you know what, yes, I do, but I'm beautiful, I'm successful, and I got a husband that loves me?
Yeah.
Let's dig into those things, because it happens every day to kids at school, especially. She used to say, I think she had a scene where she talked about they asked them to bring stuff to explain certain things that they used to go through when they were younger. And she brought a pair of Timberlands. I wasn't there for that, but I think Timberlands and some Vaseline. And then she
Oh
was
yeah,
talking about,
the the
yeah.
monologue that they had with Kelly Price and Shantae Moore
Exactly.
on stage. Yes,
Yes.
I remember.
And
Yeah,
then Kelly Price, Shantae Moore, they had me meet with her the next day. Of course, I wasn't there to see it. So here's
yeah.
Shantae Moore trying to explain to me, don't, girl, and she brought that razor blade and she put it in my face and she was threatening me. And I said, Kelly, I said, Shantae, I'm sorry. I wasn't there. I was not there, but I don't believe you. I do not believe that Kelly Price took that razor blade
Right.
and was wielding it at you trying to hurt you. No, you can't lie to me. I'm not buying it. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. You know, I'm not falling for that. So I was like, no, you're not gonna pull that shit over my head. And I said, because if you did, I said, did you call the police?
Right.
Yeah, Kelly Price is threatening you with a razor blade. Did you call the police? I don't even think they showed that scene with me and Shantae Moore. I don't even think they showed it. Yeah, because I wasn't having it. And the production company was probably like, cut. She's not doing it. She's not falling for it. I just wasn't. And I had Kelly's back. And Kelly didn't have mine. That's what I was just so disappointed after that. Because we
Yeah.
agreed to do Not Your Mama's monologues together. The other 4 don't want to do this with you. I got your back, Kelly. And I did.
Right.
And she did not have mine. So to hell with her.
So, would you do a reality TV again?
No. Well, I won't say no. I'll just say it's so hard to agree to do something that, unless they tell me for sure that it's in my contract that there's not going to be no messy shenanigans going on.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's what it was. It was like a cat fight the whole time, and I'm like, you guys, do you want us to tell the real, or do you want us to just create these scenarios that are fake bullshit that you can get your ratings with? And that's basically
Right.
what they wanted. So it's, I don't understand why. And I asked the production company this. I don't understand why you don't think that telling our stories for real and telling how hard things are for us, why that doesn't get you ratings. And they said, because it's like the train wreck. It's like a car accident on the side of the road. Everybody wants to drive and look at the same time.
Yeah.
They don't want to look away. And they're like trying to drive, but they want to see that accident. How did that happen? Oh my God, they hit them and they hit them. I'm like, well, you're absolutely right. I get it. But you can still, the stuff that we go through is real life shit. You don't have to make nothing up. I don't have to fight against Kelly Price. I don't have to fight against Little Mo or Claudette. They don't have to fight against each other. Michelle, we don't have to fight. We have enough drama in our lives every single day that we don't have to do this to each other. I don't get it. And you won't get me to fight.
So you've paved the way for so many female R&B groups. So
thank you.
Which female R&B group do you consider your baby, and why?
The R&B groups that are out, you mean? Of course, right?
No, the female R&B group overall, because you've paved the way for so many. But which female R&B group you consider your baby?
Oh, wow. I think they're all our babies because they all, it's like the record company has a cookie cutter mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And Vogue is doing well. Let's come up with our own girl group and blah, blah, blah. So I don't know who came right out after us. I want to say SWV was the next group to come out after En Vogue. Total was not the first. Hi, Joanne. How are you? Yeah, I don't think Total was the first one to come out. I think it was, yeah, I think it wasn't TLC either. I think it was SWV because they said About Time is the first album. That's the title of their first album. Destiny Child wasn't the first, you guys. Nope, it wasn't.
No, because Destiny Child came.
I think they were 2000.
96, 97. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it was SWV came out next. So if it was anybody, it was SWV. And Coco and I are really close now. Yeah, she was not so nice to us at first, and I tease her about it all the time. They'd do interviews and stuff and kind of be nasty towards En Vogue. We are not like them. We are not uppity. We are round the way girls, okay? And we don't wear no gowns. We don't wear no Exactly. We don't wear no gowns and all that. I was like, whatever, okay? We are En Vogue, okay? So now we laugh about that. So I think it was SWV. But every era pretty much has their girl groups anyway. So it wasn't like we started it and we were the first ever. You know, you got the Supremes and the Martha and the Vandellas and the Shangri-Las back in the day. And the Ronettes, you know. And even with Tina Turner and Ike, it was like she had all the background dancers with her.
Yeah.
Sing and dance at the same time. So, you know.
Happy birthday to her, because her birthday was yesterday. Yeah.
It was. She's my Sag sister. Yes. Fire sign. My birthday was on the 24th, and hers is the 28th.
Today, wait, what date is today?
Today is. I know.
I'm bad with dates.
They'll tell us in a minute. You guys, what's today's date? Total's my favorite too. What's today's date?
I think today's the 28th.
Yeah, because it's our interview. We should know.
Yeah, because yesterday was the 27th. Yeah.
I think it's the 29th. It's the 29th.
Oh, 29th.
It's the 29th. Yes.
The 29th, yeah.
So Tina's was the 28th. That's my stepdad's birthday. It was yesterday too. So yeah, she's fire. I look at her life and I liken myself after Tina. And had I had the right team, after I left En Vogue, I would have been as big. So I'm still working towards it, and it'll still happen. It just didn't happen. I think there were so many life lessons for me.
Into existence.
I'm sorry. Yes, exactly. That's right, Joe. That's right. Speak it into existence. And so I'm working on it. I'm working on my book right now as well, my autobiographical book. And I started my own label. So right now I have a team of people behind me and around me, and it's the right team at the right time. I think, I know that it would have been great if I had success as a solo album right away, and that first album that I did was huge, or because I love
Yeah.
Set It Off on that album. I have a few favorites on that album. Set It Off, Get Up Again, Read It in My Eyes. It's a beautiful song. And so I had a great album, just wasn't the greatest label, like I said. So that's when the CEO of the label, or the guy who signed me, so the CEO of the label, was caught embezzling money, and then 9/11 happened right after I was released, and yeah, things just fell apart. It wasn't meant to be at that time. So now is the time for me, and I feel it. I feel it in a different way than I usually do. Yeah, I do. I feel it's the right time right now.
So the music era that I grew up in, I can honestly play a record from the first track to the second track and play it over and over again without skipping tracks.
Yes.
Nowadays, I can't do that. So what do you think this industry lacks?
I don't know. Maybe vision, or I don't know what it is. Because we're definitely going through enough stuff to write about. It's not like we don't have adversity or trial and error or breakups and sadness in relationships. We have all that stuff still. Lack of money. I mean, what's going on by Marvin Gaye is still to this day current. It's like he released it yesterday. It really is just like that. So I don't know what it is. The lack of creativity, maybe. I'm not sure. I mean, I love a lot of the artists that are out today, but I don't buy their records. I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
You know what it is too, though? Bootlegging has always existed in music. We would be on the tour bus and we'd see people out there selling our t-shirts on the road. Like, oh my God, is that an En Vogue t-shirt? Like, you know what I mean? It was like that. But today you put out a record and everybody cops it and everybody puts it on the internet. That shit kills it. You don't even want to work on an album because you know you're not going to really get paid the way you should.
Yeah.
Now, you have artists like Taylor Swift and Carrie Underwood and Garth Brooks who are still making money hand over fist on their records. So I don't know if it's like, if the record companies are meaning for us to fail. I don't know what it is like now, why we don't have creatively the kind of music that we used to. We're just kind of in a slump. I think 2001 or 21 is going to be a renewal. And I said this the other day. I explained it like this. When you zero out your clock and you start like a stopwatch and you start and you're getting ready to relay races or whatever, you put the stopwatch on 0. And you start it all over again. When you click it, you say, go. And everybody goes. I think next year is going to be a new wake-up call for the world. I think that's going to be, we zeroed out on 2020. And everybody came together in a way that was different. I don't like the mask because that cuts us off from communicating with each other. If you can't see my mouth, you can't see how I communicate.
Right.
But you do look at the eyes of the people. So we're looking at each other's eyes and communicating in a different way. You know what I mean? And we had to stay home, so the planet is healing a lot more because we don't have the pollution out there that we did before. Kids at home, they had to stay home because they were out of work. They had to come together and rely on each other. You have food this week? What do you have going on? Like, we had to go to pantries and really kind of humble ourselves as Americans because I think we overconsume. Me included, I am included in that. We overconsume a lot of times. We buy stuff we don't need. But I think that this brought us all together. So 2021, it's the number one. It's like 1, 2, 3. It's starting all over again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's starting the clock all over again at 1. So I really believe that stuff is going to get better. And I don't necessarily mean that is with the president. I don't know what's going on with that shit. I think it's crazy. I think COVID it's a pandemic. It's not a pandemic. You know, common sense for me is a big thing. I cannot look at stupid and act like I don't see it. So I'm thinking, okay, there's a lot of homeless people out there. Homeless people, for the most part, I'm not saying all of them, but most of them do not wash their hands because they can't. Most of them don't have masks because they can't afford them. They may get a free one someplace. but for the most part, they don't have masks. They're talking to each other every day like this. They're doing drugs with each other sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're not clean and they're not 6 feet apart. You know what I'm saying? And all of that bullshit. Then, I took a flight recently. I drove there and I flew back from Los Angeles. And when I got on the plane, I'm thinking, oh my God, this is going to be rough. How are we going to do 6 feet apart?
Yeah.
There was a woman sitting right next to me. Her elbow was touching my elbow. And then over next to her was another person. It was 3 seats in a row, like they always do on a plane.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the heck? Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, it was that. So I'm like, come on, y'all. And then you go to a restaurant. You have to keep the mask on when you go in the restaurant. As soon as your food comes, you get to take the mask off. So COVID goes where? If I have COVID before the food gets there, I still have COVID after the food comes to my table. Oh, my God. I don't understand it. I just don't. It's so stupid. That's why I think it's a pandemic. This is some bullshit.
Right.
They're inflating the numbers. I'm not saying people are not getting sick from COVID. I just think it's a flu. It's just a worse flu than a normal flu. And, you know, if you don't take care of yourself and you're coughing and hacking or eating dairy or covering your mouth up with a mask, so if your immune system is compromised, our skin is our immune system. So if you're covering your hands, you're covering your immune system. You got on gloves, you got on a mask, you're covering up your immune system. You're breathing in carbon monoxide. When we breathe out, we're supposed to let that out into the world. A mask is not supposed to cover that up so it goes back into your system. So they are creating havoc. And that is why I think COVID, if it is out there, it's getting worse because of that. But not the numbers are inflated. And they keep asking, certain doctors are coming out and saying it. They wanted me as a doctor, they wanted certain doctors to come out and say that a patient that died from cancer or died from a car accident or died from whatever diseases are not COVID are dying from COVID. It's like, no, they died from a car accident. They died from cancer. You know what I mean? They died from a heart attack. They did not die from COVID, but they want them to say that they did to inflate the numbers. And the doctors are coming out being very brave and saying, I'm not doing that. I'm not a part of that.
Wow.
So I'm asking God, I keep praying because I know that there's something bigger than all of us. And I know it looks like we have a better president, but I don't think so because I've seen stuff that behind the scenes. I look at, I do go into conspiracy theory videos and I watch and I listen to what they say though. I don't just say, oh, they're right about that because they said, no, I put a 2 and 2 together. And I'm like, wait a minute. I do see Biden putting his hands all over kids. They call him creepy Biden or something like that because he's always touchy-feely with children. Oh, my God, yeah. Yeah, so there's a whole pedophilia world that's trying to stop him because they see it. And they know stuff that we don't. I'm like, who is this QAnon and all this stuff?
You know what you need?
Yeah, what?
You need a podcast because you're intelligent. You're very knowledgeable.
Oh my goodness!
I would tune in. Yeah, you're very knowledgeable of things. You need a podcast.
Oh my God, Joe!
You really do.
Yourself right now. Cut it out with yourself.
You really do, cause so I've been doing these live interviews. This has been the longest and the most entertaining. The most entertaining. Like
my God.
You have substance. Like
Oh my goodness, Joe! I could kiss you and hug you right now. I'm virtually hugging you. Thank you so very much. Wow and thank you so much for saying that because I wanted to start a podcast and I thought, okay, that's gonna be boring. Because what do you talk like? Okay, my podcast, the idea that I had for it, and I know this is off the Dawn subject and En Vogue subject and Lucy Pro subject, but I really did want to start one, and I have it all planned out in my computer. I have my laptop here because I have my camera, my light, my camera light is attached. See, so without it, it's a USB, and without the cord, I can't plug it in. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. So, but on here I have my my podcast ideas, and some of the things that I wanted to talk about was if you are a Trump follower and you're black, Why do people put you down? And why do you follow Trump? If you are Biden, you know what I mean? I wanted to get into those things. I wanted to talk about law of attraction because I am a law of attraction guru. Like I love law of attraction. And I really believe once The Secret came out, I was like, The Secret came out because it wasn't like the Bible where the Bible is down your throat with God, this, God, that. The Secret was explaining what the Bible says about us creating our own lives for ourselves. It doesn't say sit around and just pray all day long and ask God for what you need and God will give you what you want. It says, ask and it shall be given. But it also says, what is the other one? Ask and it shall be given. Ask believing that you have it already and it shall be given. But the other one is God helps those who help themselves. So all of that stuff is there, and I wanted to kind of get into that a little bit.
You should.
Dating outside of our race and all that. Why people get so upset if they see me dating a white man. I date who I fall in love with. You know what I mean?
Your mind.
Free your freaking mind.
Yes.
So I was going to call it Break It Dawn. I have different names for it.
Outside the race, it doesn't mean that you don't like your strong black brothers.
Oh my God! Oh, exactly, Joe. You are my boy. I swear to God, I love you. I love you. That's exactly it.
Right there.
And it's none of your business what I do. What I do is none of your business anyway. Mind your own. I'm gonna do a song like that. I swear I am. Mind your business, not mine.
Right, and so many groups, and so many artists overall, they don't have an anthem. You have an anthem, so how does that feel? Like, free your mind. That's an anthem for any cause.
Exactly. Yes, because I think we talk about, we talk about race. We talk about, don't assume because I come in the store and I'm a black woman that I can't afford what I'm in there for. Because what is Cindy? I wear tight clothing, high heel shoes. Doesn't mean I'm a prostitute, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because guys think sometimes that they could touch your butt just because you got on a little skirt and you come in the club like that. Like, no, I'm not dressed for you to touch me. You know, or she asked for it because she was dressed like that. Wait a minute. I thought I was free to dress however I want. And then what is Cindy's second? Mine is I like black music, wear hip hop clothes. It doesn't mean I'm not selling dope. Because we assume that about people that we see dressing a certain way.
Right.
Yeah. So thank you, Joe. I think that I am going to contact iHeartRadio and do a freaking podcast.
You should.
But what I love is I'll come on and do other people's podcasts because I'm still booked for like 41 more, 40 now because I did yours today. Other podcasts and interviews for other people. I still have 40 more to go. But I can still do other people. I can still do other people's podcasts and have my own as well. Someone said to me, and I'm not throwing shade, I promise you on everything, on my dad's grave, and I love my dad beyond words. But someone said that they need to podcast and it was kind of boring. And so I thought, how do you keep a podcast interesting? You know what I mean? What do you do to keep it? And I want a podcast that they film me. So it's going to take a certain amount of cameras. I'm going to need all these different cameras. I've watched, what is her name? Jenny McCartney, the actress, has a podcast. The camera's in the room with her, but she can afford that. She's an actress.
Right.
Her husband is Don. Kids on the block. So she can afford to have all.
Right, because she's married to Mark Wahlberg's brother.
Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah, Donnie Wahlberg, yeah.
So she can afford that because everything is where it's at. Right. But right now, you and I are talking, but we only have one camera. If we did this long, they'd be bored.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we're good for 2 hours, but we're not good for like, well, I guess my podcast would be 2 hours. I can do it.
You should do it. You should do it.
So thank you so much.
Let's speak that into existence.
We are speaking it right now. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh
my God.
Because what I do is I don't like to interview people. I like to converse with people. So us conversing, like this conversation is flowing, and I'm enjoying it.
Exactly. It's flowing. Oh my gosh, you're right. We started at what time did we start? We started at 4.
At 6 o'clock. Well, my time is 6.
Your time is 6.
Your time is 3.
Exactly.
Yeah.
3. Oh, yeah. So we're on almost 3 hours. It's 46 here. Joe, people are still there. Let's talk to the people a little bit.
Yes.
Take it into
So
existence. Thank
everyone,
you, Wanda.
so now the platform is all yours. So for the next 5 minutes, ask Dawn any questions and she's going to answer it. So ask the questions.
Hey, Reese. You should do a podcast. I should, huh? Thank you, Reese Cup. Hi, Sean. I am with you all the way, Dawn. Oh, Sean, he's so handsome too. I don't know if you've ever seen some of these people. He's so handsome. Sean, I know you're blushing right now. I know he's blushing. Hey, you guys. I'm sorry I didn't see who that was. Tanya, 2 hours. Wow, long time. Hey, Mike, how are you? Hey, Joanne, how are you? Thank you so much. They're going too fast. Robert, I saw Robert there. Everybody's moving too quick. Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder what? What's Stevie Wonder? Hey, Sydney, how are you, Sydney? Sean, yes, you are handsome. Yes, you are. Oh, I don't see a name there. Left eye. Oh my God. Phonies! Hi, Phonies. How are you? Paul, hey, Paul. Hey, how are you? Boost your cash app. I know. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Do a podcast. I'm a videographer. Hit me up, whoever that was. Oh
DM her right now. DM her.
Exactly.
Yes.
Martell, I see you, Martell. Sydney. Hey, Steven, I think it is. Javon. Hey, Javon, how are you? Hey, baby cakes. Hi, Javon. Are you going to Storm Monroe's show? I don't know who that is. They haven't asked me to come on. Papillon and Fletcher, I think it is. Hi. I am Floss now. Oh my gosh. Joe, help me with these names, the questions.
Okay, let me see.
Are you going to record Jimmy Choo? Oh, Jimmy Choo. I want to. I do want to. I've been. Hey, True. Oh my goodness, that's my old roommate. I missed you, Tony G. You see what she says? True's hero. Hey, True Thing.
Favorite funky diva. Miss that voice. We love that voice.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much, you guys. Thank you. It'll be back. Tanya, how many Soul Train Awards do I have? I have, I think, 4 Soul Train Awards. One, Sammy Davis Jr. Lifetime Achievement Sammy Soul Train Award, and then 3 regular Soul Train Awards. Yeah, I'm so proud of that. Really proud of it. That's En Vogue, all En Vogue. Supernova. Hey, True. Biggest fan right here. True, you are. Don't tell me anything, True. We have a running joke with each other. Oh, I love you too, Tanya. I love you so much. She's so supportive. Tanya has probably been here. Whew, when I had a MySpace page, I want to say Tanya was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Before, yeah, all the other social media came in. Dawn and Chike on Tuesday. Yes, I'm going to be on Tuesday. Hey, Chike, how are you? I didn't know that was you were on. Hey, Robert.
Your collaboration with Salt and Pepper.
What
a man.
What a man. What a man. What a man. What a man. What a mighty man.
Well, actually, at the beginning, you was like, yes, he is. That was you.
Yes, exactly. Got a second, y'all.
Yeah.
Yes. I like to take a minute or two and give much respect to the men that see the difference in my world. And although most men are hoes, he goes on and down because I never heard about him with another girl. But I just sweat it because it's just pathetic to let it get me involved in that he said, she said crowd. I know that ain't nobody perfect. I give props to those who deserve it. And believe me, y'all, he's worth it. So here's to the future because we got through the past. I finally found somebody who can make me laugh. You're so crazy.
You're so crazy.
I know that rap. That rap. Yes, because with En Vogue, we didn't have Salt and Pepper on the road with us, so I'd have to do the rap. And sometimes we would do it. Cindy and Terry came up with this, and Maxine came up with this clever way of doing What a Man without the rap. And it's like they sang these parts really hot, really, really hot. I love the way they did that. So yay, okay, a podcast, Joe.
Yes.
You have given birth to something. Now I gotta have you on my podcast when I have.
Yes, you need to make that happen. I'm serious.
Oh my gosh, I love you so much for that.
All here. We are all here for you. Like, we love you and thank you for giving us timeless music. Cause technically you're part of the family because you can't go to a family reunion or a family function without En Vogue.
Exactly.
Whether it's
Exactly. Oh my
like
God.
any family function, En Vogue is always playing. En Vogue is
Like Frankie Beverly and Maze, right? It's that
yes.
kind of thing. Oh man.
And so what I love about En Vogue, and I always say this, there
Hmm.
was no lead singer. Everyone played the lead role. There was
Exactly.
no lead singer.
Yes, exactly. But I will say that I sang on the biggest hits.
Oh, that you did. Yep.
I'm very proud of that. Yes, because they kicked me out. Okay, so I'm feeling myself a little bit. Like you guys kicked me out on the biggest hit we had, like right then. That makes no
Well,
sense.
c- consider it like this. They kicked you out because they felt threatened. So say that.
But I love them. Like we're family. We all okay. I
Hmm.
could have felt threatened when we had our first hit with Cindy and Terry doing "Hold On."
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I could have felt that way and was like, but we all supported each other. Like you said, we all sang lead, so don't be threatened. Um, but they were, and giving them
Right.
something you could feel as well. They were threatened. I
Wait,
guess.
because
I
you did
guess.
have the sexiest, like on giving him something he could feel with the whole dress. Because you did sing lead on that song, and the whole vibe with
It's
you singing on stage, with the
to
guy
come.
sitting down, drinking and staring at you.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
exactly. Yes, yes. Oh my
yeah.
goodness. Thank you. Wow. I appreciate that.
No,
We
thank
had
you.
we had it was we were all nervous to get up there in front of those guys, but they didn't come in until the last end of the video because the director knew they would have been catcalling us and woo, look at you, sexy girls, and all that. You know what I mean? So we asked them to just let us do most of this video by ourselves, and then you can bring the guys in later. And just like
Mm.
an hour before we were done, they brought the guys in, and we were like, El DeBarge, Johnny Gill, oh my God, I can't even breathe. I don't want to look out there because if you look out there, you're gonna see
Uh-huh.
all those guys out there, and we can't. So we didn't even look. We just kind of
Mhm.
did our thing, you know. Oh my gosh! So thank
What's
you.
your favorite in Vogue? Oh my! So we have 30 seconds.
Yes.
So I'm gonna log off and then log back in, and then when I log back in, we can do a wrap up.
Okay. All right.
All
Let's do
right.
it.
I will say, like, this has been one of my favorite, if not this, my best interviews. Like, technically, I won't say interview, but my you're one of my favorite companies to have. My house guest.
Oh my
Because
God. Oh,
this was
Joe.
not an interview. It was just two individuals talking. And it,
Exactly. With a bunch of other individuals listening in.
yes.
Oh
It's one
wow.
thing to grow up listening to your classic hits, and it's another to actually sit down
Oh my
with
goodness.
with the legend herself and actually converse.
You're so sweet, Joe. Thank you so much beyond words. I am so grateful to you. I can hear your sincerity. This has been overwhelming. All of
Mhm.
this is what's going on right now. I can see God in everything. And there's a flow that happens in your life when things are right and it's on point and it just everything is coming together.
Dawn, so one of my good friends just joined. Her name is Gina Green. Can you
Uh-huh.
tell her, hey Gina Green, like she's my videographer and she's always
Yes.
supporting me. So, can you
Hi
get
Gina. Hi Gina
yes?
Green. And thank you so much for having me, you guys. Don't make Dawn cry. I'm not gonna cry, funnies. But I just really feel like you guys are expressing things to me that I normally would not hear. And the sincerity is just overwhelming. It really is huge. So I am feeling like, wow, this is my time. They've been saying that for years to me, but now I actually feel like 2021 is it for me. With a podcast
Mhm.
and a book, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh my God.
Oh, wait.
What?
So, if En Vogue was to do a biopic, who would play Dawn?
Oh, wow. I don't even know who's out there that looks like me. Because I think to me, they have to look like Cindy. They have to look like Terry. Maybe the girl that plays the daughter on, oh my goodness. What is the show with, what is the show with, Diana Ross's daughter, Tracy Ross.
Oh,
No,
Black.
they have to be, guys, they have to be younger at first because you got to start from the beginning. You can't have Tisha Campbell playing me in the beginning when I wasn't there. You know, I was younger in 21. So the daughter for
From Blackish.
Blackish, I was gonna say, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maybe her. I gotta see. No, not her. Not her. This young lady plays on something else, but she's like a fashionista right now. She's doing her thing, and she's probably about 20, 21 years old.
Zendaya.
Maybe Zendaya. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zendaya. Yep. Yeah.
So
Jordan Sparks could play me when she's older, but not starting out. Yeah.
so
Jordan Sparks can play Cindy.
So if you guys were to do a biopic, are certain things off limits, or
no,
raw and cut?
No, and it wouldn't be you guys; it would be me. And everything needs to be in there. The story needs to be told now as much as possible because they have to cut and chop it, and so it kind of loses the context of the story that's being told. So that's why I haven't really been keen on doing a biopic. I want to do a movie. Yeah, because it all has to be told and it all has to be in there, and there's a lot from the beginning to the MC Hammer tour. We got to cover the Luther Vandross tour because that was some funny stuff that happened there. We have to do that. Who would play Luther? Like, you know, those kind of things. He was light on his feet. He had charisma. You can't just be some big guy trying to play Luther. You have to be big, but you can't. He was light. He was like Fred Astaire when he danced to me. So, and he had poise. He would even use his hands like Fred Astaire. He would do certain things when he would dance. You know what I mean? So those things have to come across. It has to be told right. And I just told somebody that the other day that I want to do a motion picture. So I'm talking to someone about that.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, because I can't slight the story of En Vogue. And it would also, right now as I'm writing my book, that's the script that they can use to write the script for the movie. Because it tells it from the beginning. Yeah.
I would look forward to that. Yeah. Exactly. I'm here to support you, and
I love you,
all
Joe.
my followers support you like
oh my gosh.
10%.
Yes, thank you.
The Dawn legacy, En Vogue legacy. There would be no Lucy Pearl or En Vogue without.
Oh my God. Okay, stop now. Right now, cut it out. She just said, "Don't make me cry," and I mean it. Oh my gosh! Wow! Holy Christmas! Wow! Yeah. I am so grateful to you.
And that's truthfully speaking.
Yes.
You know how people say, like if you're cooking something, it's missing something. It's missing something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Missing ingredient.
Exactly. Oh wow.
Even with Lucy Pearl hits, everyone remembers. Look what the cat dragged in. Me and a couple friends.
Yes, exactly. Well, this is the thing. I can't act like I don't see me missing from those groups. I can't act like I don't recognize that I'm gone. I can hear the difference or even see it. Even when Maxine was still in the group and they first kicked me out in '97, that album, when I looked at the video, I was like, they're hot as shit. They looked amazing. I cried through whatever because that was their first single, I think.
On EB3?
On EB3, yeah.
Oh.
But I'm on the song, so I can hear me in there. So it was like I was still in the video. I'm still there. But I see that the spunk, that fire, that youth is not there. I can't explain it. It was just gone. And it wasn't just because it's me, but it's me that's missing. So I had to say, yeah, it's because it's me. I couldn't look at Lucy Pearl for a long time until they did the American Music Awards. And they were on the red carpet, and someone called me right then and said, "Turn on the American Music Awards. They're on there. Lucy Pearl is on there." And I'm thinking it was just Ali and Raphael. I don't know why. And I looked at it, and it was Joy. And they were asking them on the red carpet. They had a microphone in their face, and they said, "How do you feel, being nominated for an American Music Award?" And she not grabbed the mic, but she kind of stepped in, and she said, "Yeah, we're really in front of Ali and Raphael. Like, how are you going to speak for Lucy Pearl when you weren't even on that record? You didn't record anything." And I just started crying again because I wanted to. That was my shit.
Right.
I helped build that, and I should have been on the red carpet with Raphael and Ali. So when she did that, I was like, whoa, wow. But I still didn't have the power of the press to really talk about it, huh?
Overstepping her boundaries.
Very much so. I thought so. Sit back, sit down, because you had nothing to do with this. Those are not your vocals. She and I went in on one time. She came to my page. Somebody asked me on Twitter, Dawn, what would it be like? I hope that we can get a reunion with Lucy Pearl, and it's Raphael, you, Ali, Joy, and yeah, Raphael, you, Ali, and Joy.
Yeah.
And I said, no, if it comes together and we do another reunion, it's going to be me. It's going to be the original three.
Right.
Ali, and Raphael. Right. She came in like, oh, excuse me, I don't think so. I was your funkier replacement. Okay, girl. Now, let me put you in your place as the little girl you are. Right. Those were Funky Diva vocals on that album. Dawn Robinson vocals on that album. That was nothing to do with Joy. So have a seat, be humble, and just sit down somewhere. And she had some more words to say to me or whatever, and I blocked her. Then she tried to come in with another page. I blocked. Because I don't make time for that stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not going to sit here and argue with someone that had nothing to do with my success.
Exactly, because you worked hard for it.
Thank you. That's right.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Exactly.
Not Dawn Robinson. The Dawn Robinson.
Oh, Joe, you're partial to me, but I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, she tried to slight me on that. I'm like, no, bitch, sit down. You're funky replacement. I am a funky diva. Like, stop.
Right.
And let's not even go there. Like, how old are you? Don't you have children? That's what I said to her. You're coming at me like you were in high school somewhere. I don't play these little games. But I will tell you this: my vocals are on the record. Funky diva vocals on the record. You're not singing anything. Next, blocked. Wow. Yeah, you're blocked. Like, don't do that. So thank you, Joe. Oh my goodness. Go ahead.
Before we wrap up, what would you like to tell your fans who's had your back since day one up until today?
Yes.
So this is your platform, and speak to them.
Oh my goodness. I have thanked them numerously, so that I think they know by now, but I will say it again because you're giving me the opportunity to do so. Thank you guys, because this is the thing. I don't take it for granted that even when we're together as En Vogue and we do something together, we always say the same thing. We don't take this for granted. There are so many groups that came after En Vogue, girl groups especially. It was a plethora of girl groups in 1991 that came out after us, or 92, and a lot of them are not around today.
Right.
You know what I mean? They fell off for real. Moke and stuff. There's just so many groups. So I am thankful that the love, the amount of love is there. It's not just like, oh my God, I remember that song, and oh, I love you guys. That's cool. It is droves of people that come to me daily on all my social media. I have like 46,000 people that follow me on Twitter. I have at my limit on Facebook, I followed that 5,000. Then I just started my book publisher actually started a fan page for me. I think it's a music page for me. I also have 10,000 or a little over 10,000 now on Instagram. So again, thank you so much. I always say, if I could say it in different languages, arigato is Japanese. That's thank you in Japanese. Gracias in Spanish.
Para mí. I'm Venezuelan.
What'd you say?
Gracias para todo que tú hiciste para mí.
Oh,
I'm Venezuelan. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I love that. Send that to me.
Yeah, I got you.
Send it to me. I love that, Joe. That's so good. And I know in height. No, height is yes in Japanese. Again, nothing is taken for granted. Nothing. I'm so grateful. I love you guys. I appreciate you being there, sending my love since 1984. I don't know who that was. I love you to pieces too, Sean. You're so sweet. Thank you. I think everybody's leaving now, though. Another Ken chosen one. How are you? I think that's Herb. Herb. I think that's Herb. Hey, Herb. How are you? See, when people don't have their name in the title of their page, I'm like, who is that?
Yes.
Alana, how are you? I love you too. I love you guys. 11 Woods. Hi, 11. How are you? Got no beef. What do you say? I think he said no beef. Nope. Day one. Thank you so much, Tanya.
Love you.
Sick with the 80s. Vestito. Oh, I didn't see that.
Gracias.
Oh, Brandon. Hi, Brandon. How are you? Thank you. He said, I'm so fine. Thank you. My hair keeps coming out of my braid. I braided my hair today, and it is coming out. Oh, my gosh. It's everywhere.
You still look good. Yeah. So.
Thank you so much.
So,
Yeah.
where are you located right now?
Right now, I live in Vegas. Hot
Oh,
ass, cold ass Vegas. It is
right.
freezing right now. And a minute ago, it was 106 degrees like 3 weeks ago.
Because every year around this time, I'm always in Vegas for the Soul Train Award. But because of COVID, so everything is done virtually.
Exactly. It's so
once
crazy.
this whole virus, this Corona thing is done with, when I visit Vegas, I'm going to bring all my, so I have a game that I play with. Well, but pre-COVID, I did interviews face to face.
Right,
so
right.
A large box filled with cassettes, like 500 cassettes.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
So I spread the cassettes on the floor, and I tell the artist, you have 5 seconds to pick up 5 albums, and so you need to tell me how those albums influenced your career, or how those albums, what those albums meant to you.
Exactly. That's a good game.
Yeah.
You should make that game.
Yes.
You really should. Like, have trivia questions for that. Let's talk.
Yes.
Let's talk, Joe. Seriously. I'm so serious about that.
And then I'm going to send you a link, because the last person I played the game with was with Troy Taylor.
Mm.
And so he's the last person I did it with. So exactly. I'm going to give you the link so you can see.
Yes. Okay. Please do. That's cool. Yes. That is really cool. Love that. Great idea.
And once again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for taking the time out to speak to me. Like, you didn't have to, but you did. Like, you took the time out to respond to my email, coordinate the time.
Yes.
There was no...
But I did have to. You don't understand how much you guys mean to us. I have no voice out there if I'm not talking to you.
Right.
You feel me? And even if I had a podcast already, I still would have come on your show, because your questions are bringing out stuff that I haven't thought about in years. Your every interviewer is different. And so you guys are asking me questions that I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about that. And I forgot, you know what I mean? So the fact that you guys love us that much and you are still with me and talking about what we did 30 years ago is amazing. Come on. Right. So it's not just us. We can't get there by ourselves. And without the fans sitting here and talking to us and asking questions. Right. Till Tuesday, Dawn. Yeah, exactly. Hi, Simon.
Because the platform of my show is Press Rewind with Joelle. Mm-hmm. So that stemmed from, I grew up in an era where music had substance. So I want to let this generation know that who paved the way for all these artists. So let's press rewind to the individuals that paved the way for today's artists. Let's give
brilliant
them while they're still here.
Exactly. That is brilliant. These kids do need to know. I'm sorry. I like a lot of hip hop today. I'm not putting nobody down. No shade. Oh, but that mumble rap, I'm not understanding. And
everybody sounds the same.
Everybody sounds the same.
Yeah.
There's a lot of female artists too. Like I like Delupa, I think her name is Dupa. Lupe. I'm sorry, I can't remember. I'm tearing her name up. But I like a lot of the stuff. I like a few of the songs that are out there, but I can't tell you what their albums are.
Right.
And yeah, so real music, somebody said real music. Yeah. Oh, they remember the movie Life. I only had 30 seconds in life. So if you blinked your eyes and turned away for a second, I was going off the camera. I was going off the screen. Thank you so much. That was a lot of fun too. But yeah, the music today, I think, is just lacking. I think we need to get back to creativity and stop cutting corners with, there's no real musicianship either. I think the real musicians forced people as singers and artists, I should say, to write really great lyrics and to dig deep into themselves to figure out what they want to talk about, what they want to sing about, and not just on one great hit, but the rest of the album should be just as good, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because nowadays I just skip through tracks. Because what I've noticed, there's no artist development, and everyone goes into the studio just to record that hit single, and they disregard the rest of the album.
Exactly. Somebody just asked me Cardi or Nicki. I would say Cardi, but this is my thing with artists too. And if I was in person with them, I'd tell them the same thing. As celebrities, we have responsibility to kids, especially young Black girls who are out there. You know, Black women are the bottom of the totem pole. I know we just had a vice president, female vice president, but let's see how much control they really give her to make changes.
Right.
We are so disrespected and so disregarded. And to have a position like Cardi B, I love how she talks. I love her whole steez. I love her whole energy. Because she's like, whatever, get your money. Like, what I'm saying is like, get your money. And I love that. I love her. But I think she's responsible. So when you come out with a song called WAP, you know that the young girls are going to be singing that stuff. Why do you have young girls talking about their stuff like that? Like, you know what I mean? We have to watch our words and the things that we say. And I know I sound old-fashioned. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fudge. Let's just say that. I don't care. We are responsible. So the things that we come up with, especially when you know you're the hottest thing that's out there right now, every girl and their mom is going to be looking at Cardi B for WAP. Come on. Like, we're better than that. You know what I mean? So I love her. I wanted to have her on a song when she first came out, but I'm like, oh, now I don't know. I think she's dope. I think she's dope. Because I love how she talks. She's very sassy. Yeah. She don't let nobody get into her mix, get that bag, get that paper. Yeah. You know what I mean? She's funny. I love her.
Raw and uncut. Like
raw and uncut.
She never
but now she has. Well, see, one time I saw Snoop on an interview. He said, I used to talk about women as bitches in songs until I had a daughter. That changed it all for him. That changed the game. I don't know if he kept that promise or kept that mentality, but at that time is what he felt. My wife just had a daughter, and I can't be calling women bitches. You know what I mean? So I hope Cardi sees that too, because she has a little mini me right now. You know, that's looking at every single thing mommy does. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to thank you, and you've made my day. Yeah.
Oh my God, you made mine.
Thank you so much.
I don't take it for granted. I've done a bunch of interviews, but I love it when the people feel me and we have this camaraderie across the board and this kinship that happens instantly, and that's you and I. So thank you again. I appreciate you, Joe.
So before we leave, let's just
go. Oh my God, you're gonna do it again.
Well, actually, I'm playing big.
You're going to play another one? I was like, where'd the music go?
Wait.
Oh, shoot.
So we're going to close off with your verse.
Okay, exactly. Thank you so much. Thank you, Joe. I often tell myself that we could be. That's so low. That we're too soon, but all yet I feel misery. No matter how low, I won't be right to be taken over. So shaking, I'm breaking, so shaking. What you gonna do? I can't go. Don't you wanna be my friend? Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you so much, Dawn.
I'm not singing like that. That's just, oh my gosh, you guys. Levon, thank you. The sound is messed up, he said. Oh, got it. It's
Sorry
probably
about
my sound. Cindy, Terry, Max, I couldn't read. That was too fast. Sing. Oh, the sound is very distorted. Oh, man. It was too loud. Oh, well, it's okay.
sorry, but
Y'all have heard me singing enough. Trust me.
yes. And so you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's, okay?
Thank you so much, you
Yes.
too. Blessings to you. We'll talk soon, too.
Yes. Thank
All
you.
right, Joe.
Love you.
Thank you. Love you. Bye-bye.